Welcome to the Girl Scouts of Northeastern New York Volunteer Toolkit training. Today, we will be reviewing how to use the Volunteer Toolkit. First, let's start with who has access to the Volunteer Toolkit. For this training, we will be focusing on our full access users. These are troop leaders, service unit managers, and Juliet parents or mentors. These individuals have full access to the Volunteer Toolkit and will be able to do everything that we mentioned today. There is a view-only access for our guardians and families of girls. There is a separate training for our guardians to help you understand what you can see on the Volunteer Toolkit. There is another view that is special only to our troop finance volunteers, where they will have view-only access for most of the Volunteer Toolkit except for our Finance tab. We do have a separate training for our troop finance volunteers. So let's get started with how our troop leaders, service unit managers, and Juliet parents or mentors will have access to the Volunteer Toolkit. First, you'll want to visit the Council webpage at girlscoutsneny.org. Then select My GS from your menu bar. You'll be brought to a new screen and prompted to log in. After logging in, you may need to select My Account at the top of your screen. As you can see here, I was directed straight to My Account. From here, you will go to your left menu and select Volunteer Toolkit. You'll now be brought to another new page, and you have access to the Volunteer Toolkit. If you get another login screen, try using your MyGS information. If you do not see the Volunteer Toolkit or receive an error message, please reach out to your volunteer support specialist, and they will help you navigate into the Volunteer Toolkit. If this is your first time logging in for the year, you will see this prompt on your screen asking you, is this your first year as a Girl Scout troop leader? If you select yes, you will be taken on a guided tour through the Volunteer Toolkit. If you select no, you will skip the tour. You can take this guided tour at any time, selecting the binoculars icon next to the guided tour. The guided tour is page specific, so you will need to select it for each page you would like information on. The tab you will be put on when you log in at the beginning of your year is the Explore tab. This is how you will get your year started and find more information on badges. The level that it will put you at is based on the level you have told council that you are. My sample troop here is a multi-level, but I do have the ability to change it if it's selected to the wrong level. For example, let's look at what brownies will see. When you're on this page, you then have two options. You can either view popular tracks or pre-selected tracks. This will give you some ideas of how to incorporate our badges into our year. And you can see some different layouts like great for your first year or your second year, an engineering focus, a service focus, or our special Becoming Me series. You then have the option to preview what this year plan looks like and gives you an idea of some of the badges. You do have the ability to edit this after you select this plan and add or remove any badges you would like. If your girls have already selected some of the badges for the year, or you'd like to really customize your own plan, then you can explore meeting plans. It will prompt you, if you would like to do this, just hit yes, select. And you can search for your own petals, badges, or journey meetings. You can use this filter to search by name, or you can use the filters to get a selection of badges. So if we're looking for a brownie badge, we're looking specifically for our badges. We can see all of our badges, or we can select specific for our life skills badges. And if I view our list, we have 34 options. Now it's important to note that each badge in the Volunteer Toolkit is outlined into 2 meeting plans. For our journeys, it is outlined into 6 meeting plans. So this is important to remember when we're working in the Volunteer Toolkit. So let's say my troop has decided we're going to use the Making Friends badge and our Snacks badge, and those are the only ones we've picked so far. I'm going to make sure to select both meetings, and I can add it to your plan. If we're still trying to learn what the badges are, I can hit preview here and see more about what this badge gets us, including our meeting overview, materials list, and everything you need to know. For right now, let's add to our year plan. Now it's been brought to our next tab, the Year Plan tab. This is where you will spend a lot of time in the Volunteer Toolkit, setting up your year, adding information, and picking out your badges. So you can see here is our badges that we recently added. I can move the badges around if, let's say, we wanted to do our Snacks badge before our Making Friends badge. Now I'm going to make sure to move both. Here it's also listed as meeting 1, 2, 3. If I would like to update this to be a date, I can go into Manage Calendar and select the start date for my meeting. Let's say we'll start meeting next week. I can select the time of our meetings and how frequently they have them. It's important to remember that these updates do not translate to your troop's account information in MyGS. So if you have any changes, make sure to update them in there as well. It also lists some common holidays that we see. If you select the holiday, this means that your troop will not be meeting this week. I'm going to update our calendar. And now we have our dates set up for our meetings. Fantastic. And you can see that even though I said that it would start next week, because I selected some of those holidays as being off, our meetings automatically bumped out. But don't worry if that was an issue. I can always select this meeting date and change it to make sure that it's on the date that I wanted it to be. When looking at our dates, we also can combine meetings if you'd like. We go back to our Manage Calendar, we have some more options. So if I select the calendar next to our date, I can change the date and time, I could cancel the meeting, or I could combine meetings. So if I wanted to combine meetings, this might look like having our snack badges completed in one day. I'm going to select that we are meeting on the 8th and save. And now both of our badges are on November 8th. On this page, you can also add more badges and journeys. When I select that icon, I'm brought to a similar search page that I had on the Explore tab. And again, I can type in for a badge specifically, view list, receive our dancer badge, or I can use our filters again. Now it's important to know that for our categories, this is an or search. So you'll be searching, say, citizenship or cookie business, not necessarily a citizenship cookie business badge. You can also, in this manage activity, add special meetings that you have that aren't badge related. So I could add a visit to a pumpkin patch. And that would be happening on the 22nd. I can pick a location name, the address, cost is. And now when I add this activity, it was added to my year plan. If you have used the year plan before, you can always select past years to see what has already happened in your previous year plans. So now that we've added some badges to our year plan, let's pick out a badge specifically on how to work with them. So let's look at our snacks 1. Leads us to our meeting plan tab. Here we can see the badge steps for our meeting, and we can see the 5 steps to complete this badge along with the badge summary. Then we have our planning materials. Our meeting overview gives you a summary of what the badge looks like, what the girls will learn, and some important information to know as volunteers. Our meeting plan gives you a full lesson plan for these badges, and it will break it down into different activities. Now you can see here, I have an activity in red. So what does that mean? This means that there are some choices for your activities. You can see here that the choices are laid out, so you can see the different options. But we can also go into another place to make specific changes. So let's do that now. In our meeting planner, you can see we have these activities listed again. Don't worry if you don't remember them. We can always click them to read more. And it gives you just specifically what that activity looks like. So let's say we're going to do what's in that snack. And make no-bake energy bars. Oh, and our volunteer toolkit is thinking. Anytime you see our 4 dancing dots, that means the volunteer toolkit is thinking and trying to update the information for you. Now that it's finished loaded, you can see that our 2 items are selected. And if we go back to our meeting plan, they are listed as our activity 3 and 4. Some other resources on this page include our materials list, which is great when getting everything together for your activities to make sure that you are all set. And if you are meeting virtually, there is some virtual meeting planning assistance. It will lead you to this page and help you set up your meeting for virtual. Manage communication side, you can send a meeting reminder email. You'll see some red moments for special customization, but this entire section is editable if you would like. And it is automatically sent to parents and caregivers, which you can uncheck and enter your own email addresses, or have the check mark and still add in your own emails. You can also send a meeting follow-up email that will have additional information and resources. And you can record attendance and achievements. Unfortunately, our sampler group does not have any girls, but you would see the girl's name here, along with marking them off for attendance. And on the final badge, so snacks 2, you would see marking off as earning the badge. Our meeting planner, in addition to having the specific information that were listed in our meeting plan, you can add items to your agenda. So let's say you needed to discuss cookie season. You can set the amount of time and add to your plan. All of your agenda items are movable, so we can move this up above our closing ceremony. And all of our times are different. So if you think that the what's in the snack will take less time, we can drop our meeting time down and it will total our amount of time for us. There are also meeting aids available for all of our activities. So for this specifically, you have the sweet and salty nuts, which is the ingredients for one of the dishes in the badge. Resources available to you, such as our multi-troop information or going outside help. You can also make a note that you can share with your co-troop leader. There is a print option, so you can print any of these materials for yourself. Check off what you would like to see. So let's see, let's say we want everything but our meeting overview and print. It will bring us to this nice PDF that you can save as a PDF or print. Next tab that we're going to talk about is our resource tab. A lot of information and resources from Council and from GSUSA. Here in our 12 boxes have information on specific items like troop leadership, including tips for troop leaders, our troop leader manual, and ways adults can help. You can look at our specific age levels, so let's go back to brownies, and we can see our uniform placement, the badge award chart, or even our take action guide. These lead to either links or documents that you can download. And there are some announcements that come from Council. This has information specific regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. You can see any updates here in this date. And lastly, let's talk about our finances tab. What you're going to see is information to enter for your finances. Be able to enter your balance along with other income questions, your expenses for the year, and it will calculate a financial summary for you. Then you'll enter information regarding your bank account and your signers, your status of your troop, and answer some council-based questions. At the end of the year, you will be able to submit this to council. There is one more tab we haven't talked about, which is your My Troop tab. This does have information about your attendance and your girl registration. We do recommend that you look at your MyGS account for roster information instead of your roster in the Volunteer Toolkit. But this is a nice quick snapshot to see your emails and your phone numbers. Some important things to remember: if you are part of more than one troop, you will see a drop-down option here to toggle between your different views. If you have any questions about the Volunteer Toolkit, please reach out to your volunteer specialist, and they are happy to help you with anything that you have questions with. Not sure who that is? Shoot us an email at volunteering@girlscoutsneny.org.